To bring us his own greetings, please welcome Bob Jackson.
Thanks, Daphne, and good morning to everyone. And thanks for the nice introduction. It's nice to hear after a fairly long week. This week was started last, I guess, two weeks ago. I was on the road in Ottawa, and I was in Halifax on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, and then was back in the office for one day, and then up to Kelowna yesterday, traveling with Regina Brennan, doing some worksite visits in Kelowna, and then flew back last night, and I'll be off to Ottawa again tomorrow. So it's a bit of a busy time for us, and I just wanted to welcome you all here, and thanks for coming, and thanks for giving up some time on your weekend to get together and share your ideas and to share your experiences and your energy, because all of us are going to need that energy as we move forward from you, and there's going to be a lot of time, I think, that we're going to look forward and really need the youth of this organization to carry us through this next period of time that we're heading into. This conference, as Daphne said, it's the first time that we've been able to do this in BC, and it's I think it's very exciting. It's an exciting time for youth in our movement. There was resolutions passed at this convention that we had in the spring for the youth movement. We're going to be having youth committees recognized constitutionally, which is going to be fantastic for our organization. And I think it's indicative of what the PSAC is doing nationally. Not only are we doing this here in BC, but this is part of the movement that extends across the entire country. So the words about what we're doing on the AEC and the recognition of the youth within the PSAC at the national level is certainly there for sure. Monica and Dave, your coordinators, thanks to them for all the work that they've done leading up to this, and for the committee, Daphne and Liz and Erica and Eric. Everybody's worked hard to get this organized for you. And I know it's going to be a fantastic next couple of days. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to share a lot of experiences. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Stephen Harper, who's not one of our friends in Ottawa. I think everybody here has been touched by this Harper government in some way or another, either directly, indirectly. You've seen that in your workplaces, you've seen it amongst your co-workers, you've seen it amongst family and friends, neighbors, and we're going to continue to see that because Harper and his group back there in Ottawa are pretty intent upon the dismantling, I think, of what we have come to expect as our rights in this country. And he's going to continue to do that. And it's not just about jobs for us and our co-workers, but it's about services to Canadians. It's about things that we have traditionally held in this country for years and years and years that we're going to see slowly starting to erode. And it's going to be a fight to hang on to some of those things. And I think you as young workers really need to grasp this opportunity now as a time where you can make a difference. And as we go forward over the next few years, everybody's going to have to do their job, both individually and collectively, to make some differences. There's certainly, the Conservatives are no friends to young Canadians as yourselves. Some of the things that they've introduced with respect to pensions, increasing the retirement age for pensions. Now people are going to have to work a lot longer to 65, which is currently at 60. They want to have a two-tiered system for pensions, and that creates inequalities between younger workers and those of us that have been around for a little bit longer. He really wants to tear at the fabric of unionism and collective working, and make no mistake that these actions that are being taken now are going to have long-term effects, and they're planting the seeds of you know, that tearing apart of that fabric, and we're going to be feeling those effects, I think, as we go forward. He wants to have a Canada where retirees and veterans and the unemployed and new Canadians can't get access to the services that they need. I think it's deplorable that veterans who serve abroad in defense of our principles and our rights and helping other countries have to come back to this country once they've done that service, a lot of times injured both physically and mentally, and then can't get the services that they need. And it's something that we all need to think about, and what that means, not just to them and to their families, but what it means to us as Canadians, and how the rest of the world have looked upon Canada, I think, in the past generations as a country that stands up for others. And he seems to be intent upon tearing that apart. So we have to fight against all of these things, and as I said, you all will play a very important role in that. And it's not going to be an easy fight. They have a majority there. They have pretty much a free rein to do what they want to carry out for the next couple of years, and they're going to be intent upon doing that. But it's not all doom and gloom. I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. We have strong leadership in the PSAC. We have strong leadership here in British Columbia through the BC Federation of Labour and the Canadian Labour Congress. And we have a lot of like-minded individuals that are ready for this fight and have been ready for this fight and will continue to fight that fight and to take actions against the government, and to make sure that they know that we're not going to sit idly by and watch the dismantling of our country. And so I think over the long term we will prevail in that. And as I said earlier, it's going to fall to you as the new leaders of your respective locals and components and workplaces and representatives and the people that you're going to represent. It will fall to you over the next few years to carry that fight on. And I think coming together for something like a conference like this weekend, I know, looking around this room, that there's a lot of energy in this room. There's a lot of really good ideas in this room. I know some of you I haven't met yet, but I can certainly sense that there's a commitment, a renewed commitment to carrying on that fight, and we are all looking forward to that. And so I hope when you're having your discussions over the next couple of days, you're going to talk about mobilizing your coworkers and passing the message of the things that you're going to learn here this weekend. You're going to take that back and network with each other and really forge some strong relationships with each other, and take this knowledge back and spread, create new networks in your workplaces and in your own organizations. So it's critically important you take this information back to your locals, and it doesn't just stay here. It doesn't just, we don't just spend this 2 days this weekend gaining all this knowledge and then do nothing with it. It's critically important that you take that back, and you continue to take it back. And you have those discussions at work, and you have those discussions with your families and with your neighbors and your friends. And I think doing that, spreading the word in that way is going to be very effective, and that's what we're looking forward to. And you're going to have some tools here. I see Jason Mann just showed up from the BC Fed, and he's going to talk to you later on about some strategies around how you can do that, how you can do it effectively. And we're not in this fight alone. Everybody, as I said, there's a whole great network out there of people, like-minded people like ourselves, that are ready, more than ready to take on this fight and to maintain our union legacy and to renew that. That's what the title, the theme of the conference, renewing our legacy. There's been a lot of talk at the national level. We just had last week, the National Board of Directors of the PSAC had a 2-day strategy session in Quebec, and we talked about relevance, union relevance, and because there's been a lot of, if you pick up any newspaper or you listen to a lot of the right-wing media, there's all this sentiment out there that unions are no longer relevant, they've outlived their time, we don't need them anymore. And we'd say to that, that's nonsense, because they are relevant. They're probably more relevant now than they've been for many, many years, given what's going on with the government. So, so we need to continue to build the strength within the union amongst ourselves and amongst the people that are going to come after you. You're the newest generation, I guess, of activists, and you're going to forge through over the next few years, and there's going to be people coming behind you that are going to come into the workplace, and you yourselves will become those mentors and those leaders for the new workforce. So it's something that we need to continue to build on. And there's going to be a lot of activities leading up to the election that's going to happen in 2015. There's going to be a lot of activity leading up to the provincial election that happens here in BC in the spring. And you're going to hear a little bit about that. Whether it's the provincial Liberals or it's the Harper Conservatives, I think it's a pretty much the same right-wing agenda that we're facing. So these elections are very important times, and it's something that we all need to take a part of and to take hold of, and get involved in whichever way you can. And tell the governments that an injury to one of us is an injury to all of us, and we're not going to stand by and take that, and we won't take it. So we need to really ensure that we have a strong and committed leadership as we go ahead, as I've said, and mobilize activists, really strong mobilized activists. So really give some thought this next couple of days about how you can best do that. And as I've said to every place that I go and every group that I talk to, we're not asking everybody to become a 24/7 activist where you have to go to meetings every night and travel the country and spend hours and days and weeks away from your families. But what we are asking you to do is to take on something, to do an activity that you know that you can carry out. And that could be attending a rally, it could be meeting with your MP to discuss the future of the country, it could be writing a letter or an email to that MP. But getting involved and passing the message, that's the important thing. And we all need to do that. We need to continue to do that. There's many opportunities. Everybody here has the right to vote. Everybody here is a constituent of an MP somewhere, wherever you come from. And you all have the right to meet with that MP and ask what's going on. Why, particularly the Conservative MPs, to sit down and have that discussion and say, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you promoting this agenda of tearing apart the fabric of our country? So I'd encourage you to do that. Whether you have that, it's a very powerful conversation that you can have in person. And everybody has the right to do it, and I think everybody has a responsibility to carry that out. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you pull together here over the next couple of days. I know it's going to be exciting. And I'm really going to look forward to hearing the reports. I'm not going to be able to stay with you all day today, and as I said, I'm on my way to Ottawa tomorrow, but I will look forward to the reports of what you've been able to accomplish here. And so I just want to leave you with something. Anybody here, you've probably all heard of our union mantra, Solidarity Forever. Has anybody not heard of Solidarity Forever? Okay, who can tell me who wrote that song? Anybody tell me when it was written?
Before our time.
Well, I'll tell you, it was written before your time. It was written before my time. But I'm going to leave you with a little exercise to do. Not necessarily here, but I want you to take this back with you. I want to do a little bit of research on that song. The guy's name was Ralph Chaplin. And it was written in 1915. And the words of Solidarity Forever, I think, when we talk about relevance, I want you to really read those lyrics and go over them. And when you come to a union event, whether it's a convention, a lot of conferences, you'll sing that song. And there's different verses. There's been different verses that have been added to it over the years. But it's an important song. It's an important mantra, I think, for us as part of the union movement. And I remember I became a union member. I signed my first union card in 1977, before I joined the Federal Public Service. And one of the first meetings that we went to, I was introduced to Solidarity Forever. And it's one of those things that has stayed with me all my union career. And it was written to the tune of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, so it carries the strength of battle, I think. And so in the last line of that, the last verse of that song, it says that in your hands is placed the power greater than their hoarded gold. And so if you think about that line, it's you. You're being given this opportunity. You're being given the responsibility, to carry on that fight. And that power is greater than any power that the Harper government or any other government can throw at us if we all stick collectively together. And the last line in that verse says that we can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old. And so what that means to me is that as we go through this next period of time, there's going to be some ashes on the ground after Harper's done with us. But I think that we can pick up those ashes and brush them aside and collectively go forward, make it our priority to get rid of this government and take our country back. And so I want you to start thinking about that. And I'm serious about going. You can look up Solidarity Forever. There's many different verses. They'll mean different things to different people, but I think collectively you'll find some inspiration there as you go forward. So thanks again for having me out. Thanks again for coming. We really appreciate the time and energy that you're going to put in this weekend. And I look forward to seeing you all in your workplaces and hearing about all the great work that you're doing. Thanks.
Thank you, Bob.